So hello, beautiful tribe, and welcome to Magic Month of March. For those of you that haven't met me before, my name is Karila and I am from the Starlight Temple. And I would be really grateful to those of you listening live if you could use the chat box and let me know that you can hear and see and that the technology is working correctly. And hi, great to see you. Thank you for coming. And Magic Month, if you don't know it, is a webinar that is basically an energy forecast. It gives you an energy overview, astrological, ascension guidance, and nature view of what's going on in the month, and so that you can use that information to have the most magical month possible. So to find out the best times to heal and to manifest and to really make the most of what is happening. And I am personally very grateful for Magic Month. It always gives me massive insight into my path and my personal life. And yeah, I'm always very grateful for everything that this show gives me. And so I hope it is as helpful to you as it is to me. And let's just begin with a meditation to really bring us into the present, to bring us into the beauty that is happening now. And so when you are ready, closing your eyes, and feel the muscles around your eyes relaxing as you breathe in love and breathe out gratitude. Breathe in love and breathe out gratitude. And as you allow your breath to soften, as you allow your breath to deepen, maybe become aware of the muscles at the back of your neck. And breathe into them, noticing what happens as you bring your breath to the muscles in your shoulders. And feel what happens when you breathe into the muscles that go all of the way down your spine. And what happens as you breathe into your hips and the muscles around your hips. And breathe into the muscles in your hands, the muscles in your feet. Now bring your breath to the muscles around your eyes. And then to your tongue. Relaxing your stories. As you breathe in to the muscle of your heart. A muscle that is the center of all of your love and all of your passion. And now bring your awareness to all of your muscles, breathing into them, to the wholeness of yourself. Now connect to the energy muscle of your aura. And notice that this muscle of energy in all directions around you is really still and really quiet, because it is the new moon. Just as the oceans and waters are quietest on the new moon, so is this dance of your own energy. And take this moment to connect in to the peace. It is always there in the quiet. As you feel a column of light from the center of the universe, pouring in to your energy, into your quiet, into your peace, filling you with source light. And as this light travels down into Gaia, notice the sense of being connected to all of the peace and quiet above you, and all of the peace and quiet below you. Feeling the noise of the world, being very far away. And experiencing your heart melting open to the peace and the quiet. And the stillness and the potential of this now. And as your heart opens, ask, why am I here? Let the answer come to you in words, in pictures, in sensation, and in knowing. Choose to give yourself fully to this why, to this now. Breathing in love. And breathing out gratitude. Breathing in love and breathing out gratitude. And when you are ready, opening your eyes and coming in. And I would love to hear from any of you listening live about how you're feeling. If you've got any insights from that opening meditation. And I'm really happy to be sharing the astrology for March. It's a very, very robust and bold and fast moving month. And it's a really special month in the sense that there are, oh, hi, lovely to have you here, Lila. It's a really special month because there are no planets in retrograde. And when there are no planets in retrograde, that means that there's, nothing really asking for deep inquiry. It's like the planets in retrograde kind of stop the flow of, the positive charge of each of the planets. So when they're all going direct, it is an amazing time for path action, for energizing yourself, energizing your path, being in the flow, being in the heart. It's a really, really wonderful time, and it doesn't happen very often in the year. And so when there's no planets in retrograde, it's like, yes, come on, the skies are cheering us on. And for this month, it feels like it's a really powerful month in a year that is all about chaos. If you watched Magic Month at the start of the year, so much of the astrology and energy and guidance is like, this is the year of chaos. But what it feels like when I was tuning in to Magic Month of March was, it's like a moment of everything coming into focus, of clarity, of chaos becoming choice in this very chaotic year. And I feel like the choices that we make this month, they're going to land, they're going to stick, it's going to happen. And so it's a really, really good month to make decisions. My guides like to say that decision is the moment that intention becomes action. And yeah, loads of people are like, shedding jobs and relationships and making change on that kind of fundamental level of their lives. And I think this is the month, if you haven't made the changes, that it's going to become so you know, if you're still in that crossroads energy, that suddenly you're going to take the step forward, you're going to make the move, you're going to do what is right. There's also really powerful opportunity for healing and an amazing kind of energy of new beginnings, and new starts, fresh starts. And I also, you know, when I was doing the tuning into the astrology and looking at the astrological forecast, I was like, oh, that makes sense. I feel like there'll be a lot of that. Like, oh, I get it. I get what I've just been through in the last few months in particular. And so it's a very, very positive month, and very much, I would say the mantra for this month is choose, and what you choose will choose you. You know, it's like, I choose this and I choose it with all of myself. And yeah, I choose. And so everything that we're seeing on the collective level, you know, we have to say we don't choose this. So we choose peace, we choose love, we choose a new way, we choose the way of peace, and so on. And within our own lives as well, I really invite, I've just seen Ukraine mentioned, and I really invite you all to, you know, not do any bypassing, but also do reflect. And, you know, if we want to live peacefully, then there is things that we can do, like give money and go to protests and all of that, and they are really important things. But we can also do practices that activate peace inside of us, that help us make peace with ourselves. Because and the guides, you know, they've got this thing at the moment where they're saying you always find peace in the silence, in the stillness. And we have to stop choosing the noise. We have to stop choosing the noise of the drama in our lives, and choose peace and quiet. And that helps, you know, everything helps. Every little inner action helps, as well as the outer action. And so I invite you to be responsive to the collective. And I feel like the collective is going to push us to make choices. Push us to make choices. And then, so let's get into the astrological forecast. So today, the 2nd, we have the new moon, and Venus and Mars and Pluto are aligned. And so we are all highly sensitive. You know, Venus is all about our sensitivity and our sensuality. Mars is the warrior energy, so we're feeling highly sensitive to all of the shadow and the light of the warrior. And Pluto is death and rebirth. And so there's a real invitation on this new moon for highly sensitive resurrection, you know, highly sensitive resurrection of the noise that isn't right in our life. And this was the moment when I was reading about this astrology that I was like, everything makes sense, you know, because Venus tomorrow, so, you know, this moon is connected to Venus and Mars, the relationship between love and war, and that having a rebirth, or a death and a rebirth. And neither of those things are ever simple. And then on the 3rd, we have Venus. So tomorrow we have Venus conjunct with Pluto. And this is the 3rd and final one of the Venus conjunct Pluto journeys that have happened, that began when Venus was in retrograde, but because of this final conjunction, it's actually been like we've been in a Venus retrograde since about December 11th. And that is the moment that I went, oh, okay, because that was the first Venus conjunct Pluto. And certainly in my life, you know, all sorts of Venus retrograde things have been coming up since December 11th. The second one was on December 24th, and then the third one is tomorrow on the 3rd of the 3rd, which is interesting because it's also the 3rd of the 3rd. My guides have just like pinged me on that and they're like, yeah, you know, Venus retrograde really makes us look at our boundaries and the way we misuse our love. We're met with Pluto. That's an opportunity for those patterns to really come up strongly for transformation and death and rebirth. And the shadow of our love really comes up. And so the Venus conjunct Pluto, which is also connected to abundance and our kind of ability to be following our heart and be true to our heart, as well as kind of the relationships that we have with others. You know, it has meant that the last few months, probably for most of us, have been a journey of boundaries in one way or another, because love, when it's in retrograde, is all about your boundaries. Venus in retrograde is all about your sovereignty and your boundaries. With that Pluto element, it's really about the shadow of those patterns. And you know, I have done Magic Month for many, 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 many years, and I can safely say to you all that one of the hardest retrogrades, maybe it's me and the fact that I'm not very good at love and boundaries, but like one of the hardest retrogrades by far is Venus retrograde. It really gets in to your intimate issues into the people that are closest to you, the people that are your safety, the things that you feel out of control with. It's why there's this kind of impact on the heart and abundance and things like that. And so you know, Venus conjunct Pluto in these Venus retrogrades kind of stretched out the retrograde right up until Venus leaves her shadow on the 4th. So after the retrograde, it's the shadow period. So but because of the triple conjunction with Pluto, what it's meant is that it's been an extra intense, almost extra long Venus retrograde. The shadow period was kind of like a retrograde because of this conjunction, and everything will be coming to a head in that area in this new moon, in this new moon, and in these first few days of the month. And what my guides were just saying then was that, you know, it's the 3rd of the 3rd, it's the 3rd conjunction. This is really about your trinity. The patterns that have been coming up are about your trinity, how you are between your masculine and your feminine and your union, how you are between your head, your heart, and your soul. You know, it's about, that's been the struggle, and it is time now and this new moon and tomorrow to really let those final patterns come up and out, to let them come into resolve, to let them dissolve, to dissolve in a new choice. And so these first few days of March, they're huge. Listen, feel, be in that sensitivity, be in the turmoil of it. If you're like me, going, oh my goodness, I get it now. I think back to early December and the journey you've been on since then, and what is so ready in you to complete. And it's going to complete through you changing. It's going to complete through you making a different choice. And this choice might be a choice in your attitude, or it might be things that you need to say to people, or it might be a totally new direction. I invite you to really spend tomorrow, tonight, going, okay, I'm listening. I'm listening. What choice does my heart really want to make? Really powerful time as well, these first few days, today, tomorrow, and the next day, to do shadow work, ceremonies to release these kind of completion processes. And it's especially amazing because as Venus leaves the shadow on the 4th, the sun is conjunct with Jupiter. And you know, the sun in astrology is our truth. And Jupiter is our expansion, our growth, our path, our abundance. So make the choice for the most growth. And my guides have actually said the most long-term growth as well. You know, the sun and Jupiter, there's an ancient power there. Not the reactive change, but the change that can be consistent, that can be truth. And the sun conjunct with Jupiter means that your path is going to be amplified. What your path wants, what your heart wants, what's right for you is going to be amplified. And that's what we're going towards. And all of that stuff that's been coming up in those boundary struggles with the Venus retrograde, they're going to shed. They're shedding for that truth to be revealed. So also a really powerful time to sit with yourself, to listen, to open your heart with that Jupiter energy and just be like, okay, if I can do anything, if I didn't have any boundary problems, if I didn't have any weakness in my love, if I was already in an overflow of abundance, what would I be doing? Really powerful day to journal, really, really powerful day to vision your path. And it will be made powerful by those choices, because those choices are your leadership energy. This is an activation of leadership. So March begins with this, like, yeah, this, like I said, this coming into focus, you know, coming out of chaos into choice. That is the mantra for March. So super amazing and super, super, super exciting. And then on the 6th, Venus and Mars enter Aquarius. So all of, you know, there's been quite a journey with Venus and with Mars as well in the last few months as well, within that retrograde period. And, you know, Mars is the warrior and Venus is the heart, the love, the lover. And they're both entering Aquarius because these choices that we're making, they're the choices of the rainbow prayer. They're the choices of the rainbow warrior. Very powerful day to be in the balance of your masculine and feminine. So also have a look at how you've been out of balance, what that boundary journey has shown you around being out of balance. And come into harmony with yourself, come into balance with yourself. Very powerful day for meditation, the 6th. My guides are saying it's a very powerful day for medicine, because all medicine is really about harmonizing. So if you're called to like cacao ceremonies or medicine work on that day, really powerful day to ask, what's my medicine? And you know, we've got this huge Venus theme at the start of the month, and this huge theme around the feminine in many ways. And March always has a feminine theme because, you know, our human consciousness impacts on the events of everything as well. And it's International Women's Day on the 8th of March. So nearly every March I find that there's quite a lot of feminine energy and feminine themes around. And so this is a really wonderful day to connect to feminine archetypes, to connect to that celebration of the feminine, whether you are male or female or priesty. You know, my personality self has this slight resistance to the idea of there being a day for half the world's population, and yet very often I get guided to do something ceremonial on International Women's Day with the goddesses, and it's like, it's always so powerful, because actually the feminine way is to celebrate, you know, and is to be in the high ceremony of the celebration of the self. And so International Women's Day is a wonderful thing on a kind of goddess consciousness level. And I really want to invite you to connect to a wisdom that came through one of the courses that I'm running this week, which is a Divine Feminine course. And we were working with the archetypes of the feminine. And, you know, so much wisdom and so much guidance comes through the archetypes. And what came through, we were all guided to work differently, but I was working with different archetypes, but I was working with the maiden. And one of the things that the guide said is like, how is the maiden helpful to you? And I suddenly understood that, you know, it's the maiden energy, all of that hope and dream energy that will really help me to love again. So when we're afraid of change, it's very often because we're afraid that we're not going to love it as much as what we had before. We're afraid to let go. And I'm so pleased you're loving it and excited. And the maiden is the one that will let you fall in love again, you know? And that's what we really need to do. There is so much change happening in ourselves. This is a year of chaos. And again, that's why I feel International Women's Day is such a powerful day to do archetypal or feminine work, because the feminine knows chaos. The feminine is chaos. One of the meditations I've been doing for this Divine Feminine course I'm running is just this amazing meditation where like you literally create the chaos, which is the potential energy of your dreams. And that's the feminine wisdom, is that it's all going to begin with chaos. And, you know, we're very masculine orientated. We've been brought up in patriarchal societies. We tend to react to chaos in a way of like, I can't cope. Whereas what if all of the chaos that was happening around you in your life was the chaos of that your dreams are creating so that you can love again, so that you can fall in love with your life all over again. So I invite you to call that in. Go really romantic. Why not? Romance all the change that is happening. And then on the 12th, it's a busy month. On the 12th, it's a busy start to the month, I have to say. On the 12th, we've got like the annual Sun conjunct Neptune. And, you know, like I said, Sun is truth. Neptune is dream energy. It's our intuition. It's our ability to, you know, go anywhere and everywhere in our imagination. It's such an unlimited energy. It's connected to our spirituality. And so this is another day where it's like an amazing opportunity for spiritual growth. The guides are showing me that there's going to be all these ascension energies coming down on that day. Spiritual growth, higher love, really setting your dreams free. You know, it's like let your truth become unlimited. And so if March and the skies in March are telling you anything, it's like, come on guys, dream bigger. You know, dream bigger, and within that dreaming bigger, get more precise, get more accurate, get more focused on that dream, because the chaos can also be hypnotic. And it's like there is this energy that's charging through much that is just like, no, stay focused. Choose to stay focused. And I'm going to let the guides channel about choice at the end of this. And then on the 16th, we've got that two asteroids coming together. Pallas Athena, which is really another feminine energy, a warrior feminine energy in a way. It's about strength and courage and intelligence. In a way, it's, to me, that aspect is very much about choice. Again, it's like the power of your choice. And Chiron is the wounded healer. Chiron is one of the most important. I call Chiron a planet because I'm like, you're not an asteroid, you're a planet. And you're the planet of humanity, because humanity is the wounded healer on this planet. And so for me, Chiron is so important. And you know what those two in the sky are about? They're about boundaries. So around the middle of March, it's going to be time to be putting those new boundary choices you are making into place. You know, those new choices into action, into place. And as I'm speaking, it's like, who do we need boundaries with the most? Absolutely 100%, it's our wounded self. You know, how unboundaried are we with our own wounded self? And imagine just for a moment, you know, if you think of any of the Venus drama that you've been through, probably have been through, or maybe it's just me that gets rocked about by Venus retrograde. But like, if you think of the dramas in your life and actually understand that you were at the center of all of them, you know, your wounds were at the center of all of your addictions, all of your crises, all of them. How much energy have you spent being unboundaried with yourself? And I just, you know, this day, such a powerful day for healing. If you can go into circle, into ceremony, go. If you want to do self-healing, if you want to go to a one-to-one healer, go. Heal. If you just want to ask, you know, one of the most powerful things we can do is say to the universe, what do I not know about that I need to heal? And call it in. Because this very much is a month for medicine as well. And that leads so beautifully. You know, you'll start to feel what's needing to heal come off on the 16th. Because on the 18th is a very powerful full moon for healing. It's a Virgo full moon. It's about completion. It's about release. It's about abundance. It's about boundaries again. It's got the archetype of the nurse. It's like, what are we nurturing that we shouldn't be nurturing? Where are we misusing our medicines? And you know, our medicines are our ability to harmonize. And what's downloading to me as I speak is all of those boundary problems are because you misuse your medicine. You know, where we have weak boundaries is where we put medicine in to try and harmonize a situation that's wrong. And that medicine can be our speaking softly, or our not speaking, or our silence. It doesn't have to be physical medicine. But yeah, it feels very profound what's coming through, that like the misuse of our medicines means that our boundaries are weak. And so again, really powerful time to go deep with all of this stuff, to heal, to complete. Anything that doesn't complete this new moon, it will be completing on that full moon. Pay attention. What's the story? What's the rhythm? What's happening? And you know what? All of that junk, and I love it. My guides gave such a good description of junk the other night. They were like, junk is, you know, what's not needed. They were like, junk is when junk is something that you hold that you don't need. So something you're holding on to that you don't need. And so I feel like the start of the month is going to bring up all the junk in your choices, all the junk in your misuse of medicine, all the junk, and it's bringing it up and out. Because 2022 is fierce. But it's fierce grace. You know, and a lot of the junk is the noise. You know, the noise that humanity is making on this planet. And more importantly, the noise we're making within ourselves. I will ask about boundaries. What other thing did I say that I'd ask the guides about? You can ask about boundaries instead. But I will also, yeah, I'll let them channel about choice and boundaries. And it really feels that this big clear out is in preparation for the equinox, which is also the start of the new astrological year. And all about balance. True balance, true medicine. Your medicine working for you. And so I really, you know, and this equinox, honestly, and I see this now, last equinox, I was in ceremony, working on the collective consciousness with Solara and Tribe and in Ibiza. And the guidance that was coming through the guides then was that, you know, what we started then in September would travel all the way to March. Travel all the way to March. And it would really start to come into our realities in March. And you know what we were working on then? The balance between peace and freedom. The balance between holding the peace and holding the freedom. How relevant is that now? And here's the thing, we have to be able to hold both. And I'm just giving this pause because it's like, you know what got amplified in that Venus shadow journey around peace and freedom for you. And yes, of course it's happening on the collective as well, but like, stay with you. Because when you change yourself, you change the world. Human heart by human heart. And I really feel like the equinox this year is going to have a fresh start energy to it. And the power, I promise you, peace and freedom. When do you feel that? You feel that in you, in doing things differently, in doing things new. And so all of those old choices, just say throughout March, I clear, cancel and delete, I don't choose it. And then open up and be like, what do I choose? What do I choose? And then from the 20th, there's this, when I tune in, it's like this time of refrequency. It's like the equinox is a massive portal. Very important to be in ceremony on the equinox. And you can be in ceremony with yourself. Make an offering to your new choices. Make an offering to the earth for peace and freedom. Be in ceremony with others, even better. We're always more powerful when we're together. Really powerful thing. Manifest as well. You know, there's this warrior energy in March. It's like all warrior energy is about don't look back. That is the power of the warrior. To look the unknown in the eye. And with, you know, Aries season beginning, we have that leadership energy, that charge forward energy, that fire. And so call it all in. And that portal, when it opens, what I'm seeing is like a time of real refrequency happening between the 20th and the end of the month. Loads of new frequencies coming in. And so it's going to be really, really important that you ground. And honestly, my guides, they are so not usually this specific, but grounding these days is got to be directed. It's got to be, I ground into the golden age of Aquaria. I ground into the new earth. I ground into the greatest potential timeline. Ground into the now that you want, the future that you want, the choices that you want. And that will really, 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 really help you. But you could also feel quite tired. Yeah, I love it. Doubt is not an option. That came out of Rise of the Divine last year. Thank you, Katrina. Doubt is not an option is what March should be about. I just called it Mars. Yeah, March. It is even in the name, March. You know, march towards that new astrological cycle without doubt being an option. And with the frequencies coming in, you know, a lot of us are getting very tired and bleached out by these new high vibrations and these new frequencies. And absolutely the best thing I can recommend is the Rapture Rites, which is free, that Starlight is giving for free, I'm giving for free. Do the Rapture Rites. It will mean that you can handle the new frequencies better. It's a meditation that you do 8 times, and then you're so much stronger and so much more able to digest those frequencies. Literally holding the intention on how to ground into the timeline, and we can do it next if you want. And then the month ends for some places in the world is the 1st of April, and some places it's the 31st. So it's the new moon in Aries. And I always think a new moon on the 1st, it's like beginning, you know, real beginning, real new beginning. These choices beginning to manifest. And again, presence of Chiron means that it is about turning the wounds into wisdom. Very sovereign, masculine moon. Yeah, the Rapture Rites, I'll send out, you can message me about it and I can send them to you before, but we're going to put them up on a platform anyway. So they're a bit easier to access, hopefully by the end of this week. So I'll send them out. But yeah, they're amazing, really strengthening. And so that's March. How robust. And not for the faint of heart, but definitely for the warrior heart is March. How special is it? Really want to hear from you all about how you're feeling about March. And I actually, you know, this is usually the time in Magic Month that I let you know what Starlight has coming up, but I don't have anything coming up. Not because I'm not planning on doing loads of lovely stuff. My heart wants space right now. We will have things. We're looking into a subscription service. We're looking into all sorts of amazing things. But yeah, at the moment there is nothing. But usually when I have these periods of like, oh, I just need space and I don't know what I'm doing, it's because everything has to happen in the perfect moment and I can't see it yet. And so sign up to Starlight's mailing list. This is all I can say. Sign up to our mailing list. And what will happen is like what happened to like 2 days ago with this moon. The guys were just like, yeah, held in prayer. And so we did a last minute held in prayer ceremony. And you know, these things that there's no kind of pre-planning for, they're just in alignment. They're just in response. They're just in the moment. They are always so powerful. And so I really invite you to do that. Card I've pulled for us is the Medicine Wheel. This is the card for March. And you know, the Medicine Wheel is really about the long journey. You don't go on a short journey. Yeah, you can sign up, of course. You don't go on a short journey in the wheel. You take as long as you need to take to become who you are meant to be. And so make choices that are for the long term, not reactions. Look what happens with reactions. And yes, I love that idea on A Course of Boundaries. Maybe, oh, I don't know if I want to do that. I was like, maybe for the eclipse window, we should do a course in boundaries. But yeah, no, I'd love to do a course exploring boundaries. I am going to ask my guides when we can do that, because I love that idea very much. And that's Starlight Temple's mailing list. I can also probably find it on here. Yeah, no, don't have it on here, sorry. So yeah, I would love to do a course in boundaries. Don't know if I want to do it in the eclipse window, but maybe. Eclipse windows magnify everything, for those of you that don't know. So I'm like, oh my God. I don't know if I want to deal with my lack of boundaries in an eclipse window, or slowly, like the medicine wheel, over time. So now I am just... Let's begin by practicing grounding into the golden age. And so much of this is intention. When you ground, just as you would normally ground into the earth, you simply hold the intention to ground into the heart of Gaia in the golden age of Aquarius. And what can really help you is feeling first the gravity of yourself. Feel gravity in your inner self, pulling your consciousness, spiraling it into your belly. And from there, once you're in your belly, hold the intention to ground into Gaia in the golden age of Aquarius. Feel a grounding cord dropping down through all of the layers, into the heart of Gaia. In the greatest timeline. And you'll feel this real warm lift happening when you ground into this golden age. And just notice how that feels. Dearest ones, we speak to you now about choice in this time of great chaos. And we invite you all when you are at a crossroads or many options, multiple crossroads, which is one of the reasons that this year is so delighting and so exciting. We first invite you to begin sitting with your choice. Breathing out any belief system that you can make the wrong choice. This is old Piscean way of right and wrong, and the Aquarian way is that always the choice leads to the happiness, to the happy heart. It is the choice that brings the manifestation. And so there is no right choice or wrong choice. There is simply many different ways to exactly where you are meant to be, doing exactly what you are meant to be doing. And some ways are more scenic and some ways are more dramatic. But the I don't know energy drops you out of your sovereignty and therefore out of your Aquarian potential. And so, making the choice without any fear that the choice isn't right, and by listening to what is right for you. This is the way. And so once you have breathed out, all of the fears and feelings around right and wrong choice, we invite you to imagine all of your different choices in your energy available to you through your decisions, words, and actions. And then we invite you to imagine those choices coming into greater chaos in your energy. The analogy that we suggest is a snow globe, shaking all of the choices around in your consciousness. And you may physically move, for this will get you out of your heads and into your hearts. And then, just like a snow globe, inviting the dust to settle. And as it settles, the choice that you really want, that you are afraid of, comes to your heart. And we say you can do this practice throughout March. leading up to the equinox. Every day, and the more you do it, the clearer the choice. That is most aligned for you will become. And the clearer that this is, the easier it will be to make. So we invite this to be your daily practice. We say that I don't know energy disturbs your magnetic resonance. And creates more chaos and more confusion and more noise. The greatest boundary that you can have with yourself is towards the part of you that doesn't want to know, also known as I don't know. And yes, we will say that we would be delighted to channel a course about boundaries. For we see many humans wasting much of their time and their energy being unboundaried. And breathing in love and breathing out gratitude. Breathing in love. And breathing out gratitude. And when you're ready, opening your eyes and coming into today. I would like to just say thank you to you all. Thank you for the absolute delight and passion that you've brought to Magic Month. I feel so energized and so much clearer to Magic Month. And so I hope it was as helpful to you as it has been to me. And yeah, I I really wish you loads of luck on your journey towards these choices. I find that snow globe feels like it's really quite useful. I think it'll be really good. But yeah, I hope that you use it if it's useful. And please, if Magic Month is helpful to you, please do share it around so it can help others, let other people know about it, so that it can help others because of these crazy times, but also because, we all need to start moving away from those businesses that belong to Piscean masculine shadow. Things like Facebook and things like that. And I feel like the way we will do that is if we all help each other and share each other's events and don't rely on these social media giants anymore. So I'm really trying to do that for people and encourage people to do that so that we can start our own golden internet. And yeah, let's close our eyes. And when you're ready, breathe in love and breathe out gratitude. And send your love and your gratitude to Mother Gaia. Send your love and your gratitude to all minerals, to all plants, to all animals. To all of humankind. To all of peace, all of freedom, all of love, and all of choice. To all of fire, all of earth, all of air, to all of water. To all of love, all of light, to all of matter, all of mystery, to all of the sky. To the wonderful cosmic mapping of our planets. To source. To all of yourself. And all of life. And through all of togetherness. And because of what we send out, we get back, opening yourself up to receiving love and gratitude back. I love you all. Have a magical, magical, magical March. And I will see you for Magic Month of April. And so much love to you all. Mwah.